Hello.
Happy Thursday. It's Thursday. Yeah, happy Thursday, everybody.
Yes, it is. It's Thursday, and Nikki is on the show. We are all lined up. All the stars are ready to go, right? Yeah.
That's right. As long as we all stay on the show this time.
hmm hmm
How was last week's episode? No issues?
Uh, it was great. Oded was on the show. He was great. I just released a short, generated from our AI friends. And I'm working on the YouTube shorts a bit to help promote some of the shows. But yeah, Oded did great. StreamYard went well. So yeah, very very great show.
Odette
And
always does great.
yeah, he's a hey Keith, good to see you. Welcome
Thank you.
back from PTO. And yeah, it was a great show, especially last week. If we've done a lot about the AI scene, but talking about non-native non-English native languages
Mhm.
in terms of AI and retrieval augmented generation and some of the challenges that you may see there. So it's an interesting show for if you're in that scene.
Wait, we did a show on AI on Cloud Foundry Weekly? That's unheard of.
Guilty as charged, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
it's the only thing anybody's talking about nowadays. I'm gonna have
mhm,
to go back
mhm.
and watch. I'm very excited to see what Odette brought to the show.
Very cool. But yeah, so what's going on with you, Nikki? What have you been up to? I noticed you have a new title on your
I
screen. What's
I
going
do
on
have a
there?
new title. Yeah, I just got moved up to field CTO for coders, so
Well,
going to be
congrats.
changing my focus a little bit, more customer based instead of open source community based. Well, I won't say
Cool.
open, not less open source. Still going to be doing a lot of open source, but less community based, more focused on the customer. So that's exciting.
Very cool. Well,
Yeah.
congratulations. Sounds like it's going pretty well for you there. So happy to see that.
It's a fun time. We're solving problems that every developer has, companies
Yeah.
have. So it's come talk to me if you're interested. How
Very
about
cool.
you, Nick?
Very
What are you
cool.
doing? Got any Disney
Uh,
plans planned?
no, not Disney plans. No, not that. I'm sorry I can't adopt you if you're catching the last reference or whatever. But well, just getting ready for Explore. So and Cloud Foundry Day Europe. So lots of it's getting to the tail end of the busy season of conferences. So if you're out there, Las Vegas, VMware Explorers in August 25th to 28th. So if you want to see me and a lot of our Tanzu friends will be out there checking out the show. It's always a great time. So if you want to catch up, hit me up. A great way to contact us is to join the Cloud Foundry Weekly Slack, and maybe we can
Absolutely.
even organize a community meetup there. And then from Cloud Foundry Day Europe, so all the schedules have been announced. That's October 7th in Frankfurt, Germany. So if you're in that neck of the woods or interested in that, you should definitely check out the schedule and register. It's always a very very busy in the Europe side of the house from Cloud Foundry Day. I think the past two events have sold out, so I would get your ticket soon. So you make sure confirm you have a ticket and can get into the space. So I guess that's my pre-show banter and call to actions of checking out upcoming shows.
Nick's just sticking the knife right in my heart because he knows I can't make Explore.
Mm.
So during Explore, I'll be in Amsterdam.
Mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm.
that could be dangerous, but I'll be doing some talks at the Open Source Summit in EU, and
Very
I'll
cool.
also be doing the AI Day, AI Dev in EU as well. So that's going to conflict with that. And unfortunately, I'm not going to be at CF Day EU this year, and I am completely and totally bummed about that. I have some PTO planned, and if I don't take my wife on a trip, then I'll be single, and I don't want to be single.
Well, that's fair enough. I'll cry a little bit inside, but we'll carry on without you, and then we'll recap once you're back. How about that?
I look forward to it. Can't wait to hear all the speeches and all the talks that are going on. I
Mm-hmm,
look
mm-hmm,
forward to the recap. We'll do what is it, the Cliff Notes version of CF Day EU on the
mm-hmm,
show
mm-hmm.
after that, and then I'll get all caught up.
Very cool. All right. Well, without further ado, we should probably talk about what we're going to talk about today. The main show, right? Enough
I'm excited.
announcements. Yeah. So we've covered some of the Tanzu Platform 10.2 launch related items earlier in past shows, but today we're gonna kind of deep dive on Tanzu Hub within Tanzu Platform 10.2 release. And without further ado, we're going to bring on our special guest this week. we'll bring on Ray here. Ray, welcome.
Hey,
Hey
Ray.
guys, nice to be here. Thanks for having me.
Well, yeah, thanks for joining us. Can you introduce yourself and kind of tell the audience who you are, what you do, that type of thing?
Yeah, I am a PM in the Tanzu division, mainly focused on observability, which is what we'll talk about today with Hub. So
Mhm.
a lot of observability there. I do have some slides we can run through in a little bit, but just to kind of set the stage of what we're trying to accomplish, where we started, and then we can get into some demo and kick the tires, check out Nick's environment and see what he broke. And I might
Yeah.
jump between a couple different environments here and there just to
Sure.
change some experience or show some different things. But yeah, happy to be here.
So I'm going to say
Yeah.
two things, Ray. First, what you're going to talk about, I have made no bones about it. This is one of my most exciting features that have been coming into the Taz world for a long time. So I'm very excited about this. Whoops, excuse me, Tanzu Platform.
Yeah,
Thank you.
it's okay.
Thank
Tanzu
you.
Everybody.
Platform, Cloud Foundry. So it is
And
one of my
Wallace in the
favorite
cookie
features
jar.
coming in. I can't wait to see what it is. But to lead off on that, how often have you watched the show?
I've watched probably 6 or 7 episodes.
All right, so you're about
So-
a 10% rate. That's I'm not going to
Solid.
that. All right,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
then you know what we're going to ask you. First question we ask new guests. Tell us about your
Always.
first Cloud Foundry experience.
So that would really be more from when I joined the Hub team somewhere around 2022, just after the acquisition. So
Mhm.
mostly again from an observability side. I think you had Jacob Newton on
Mhm.
about a year or so ago, and so yeah, a lot of my knowledge has started from him, and then obviously learning more as I go along and watching some of the courses that have been created, and then obviously looking at more the observability side of it than the mechanics of CF pushes and things like that. At this point, of course, we'll get into more and more as the journey continues.
Yeah, and what everybody doesn't know is Ray was telling us back in the pre-show that he created a slide for his first CF experience because Ray is an overachiever. So when we bring up
Yeah.
the slides, I want to see my first CF experience slide.
Oh, it won't be as great as that, but I just click share. I don't know. I've never used StreamYard before, but
It's okay.
did that come
Every
through?
time. Let's add to
Oh,
stage.
looks
here.
like it worked.
Well,
Yeah.
look, yeah, it looks
Look at
looks
that.
legit.
There
Awesome.
you go.
Not only did he make a slide, it's actually a pretty nice slide.
Oh wow! So you have a lot of network background. I did not. I'm learning stuff right now on the fly. Oh,
Yes,
did you
sir.
write a book? Is this a book?
It is a book, yeah.
Wow, the Dire methodology. Interesting.
So where can
Well,
we
you
get
coulda
the
led
book?
with
Is this
that, right?
Is this on Amazon?
This is on Amazon, yeah.
All right. All right. Well, we'll have to include a link to that so that people can go buy Ray's book.
Very cool. And
Yeah, I
Vernie,
appreciate that.
very nice.
Yeah.
Was NetOps an acquisition that became Vernie?
No. So
Okay.
NetOps is network operations, right? So
Mhm.
spent, I want to say it's like 30 some years. I'm giving my age away here, but 30 some years in the network world, right? So started more in the network management operations, and then went into architecture. We built
Mhm,
a
mhm.
campus in Ottawa. I'm Canadian. It'll come out every now and then. I'll say a boot or whatever we say up in Canada, Yeah, so did a lot of interesting stuff up there, and then I moved to Boston, the Boston area, and really focused on network automation for about 7, 8 years. So a lot of things you'll see actually in the product today are things that I'm carrying forward from previous lives, and are kind of addressed in the book, right? How do we accelerate operations? And it is network focused, obviously, back then, but the same problems exist anytime, right? You have a problem, you need to get data, you need to know what to do.
Mhm.
Right? How do I do that more effectively and more efficiently? So trying to build those things in the Hub, and I think we've done a pretty good job there. The other good one is handoffs, right? Handovers between two different people or two different teams. How do you make that more seamless? Right? You go from an app ops to a PE. What information can you transfer from one to the other without having to recollect all that information and someone doing the work over and over that's already been done, right? So a
It's
lot of
always
interesting
DNS.
analysis. Sorry, I missed that.
I said, Keith is saying it's simple. It's always DNS.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm a network guy, so it's always the apps problem, right? And then I moved into the app world, and it's like it's always the network problem. So the old finger pointing always happens. But we'll,
So getting into Cloud Foundry, did you see that took some of the pressure? Because you're absolutely right. Anytime a developer had a problem, it's got to be the network. Well, now when we get into platforms as a service, Nick knows this as well as I do. Well, there's a problem with the platform. It can never be with the app. It's always a problem with the platform. That kind of moved the finger pointing from network to platform.
Yeah, very, very much so. Like the same problems exist, and it doesn't even limit itself to networks or platforms or apps. It had similar conversations with finance, accounting folks, and similar problems, and the same solutions can be addressed or can addressed on both sides. So, yeah, absolutely. And I think CF does a really good job at, I won't say hiding some of the complexity, but probably that's a good way to put it, right? Like you don't, the CF push does a lot of it for you, right? It makes sure things are running and so on and so forth, right? So you don't have to be an expert at everything.
Extracting,
So
that's the word you're looking for. It extracts all that
yes,
stuff away.
extracts. Yeah.
I love seeing the timeline, 1994 to present. I've been feeling like an old man here recently. So thank you, Ray, for making me not feel so old.
Thank you. I shaved today a little bit to hide the gray in the beard, but you got me on that one. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Very cool.
All right. So they're number 6, observability lead, Tanzu Hub. Again, this is, I have made mention of this, and this is a hard thing to say because there's been so much good stuff coming out of the Tanzu team. Nick, you're the marketing guy for this. You've been doing a great job getting all this information out there. It's hard to choose a favorite, but if I had to, Hub is one of my favorite things coming out right now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look at this. We definitely, I see some AI generated art, and I like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's getting better at spelling.
Yeah.
This had twofold, right? It was like one, it helps illustrate the problem we started with, where everything was a per foundation, right? You have your apps man, your ops man, your app metrics, all these things, your health watch, Grafana, your KB articles, like, everything's kind of a mess, right? So that was one. And then 2 was just to show how bad I am at generating AI art and how bad AI art is to generate, right?
I think everybody is. I'm interested what health watch metrics are.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it's close enough. I just noticed now there's a before in the top left. And then and shout out to DMZ too. It's always usually the firewall. So between firewall and DNS, usually that's the cause of all issues, right? All right. So now before, after,
and after, right? So single console, single place to look. Bring all your foundations into one place. Bring all your metrics, all your logs, and then all the cool fun stuff that we'll get into in a little bit that we can do because it's centralized. Right?
Very cool. Mm-hmm. I think that's the largest iMac I've ever seen in my life.
Is it ever? Yeah.
Is that an actual Apple logo it generated? Sorry, is that like?
Yeah, I think
can't quite tell. It's close.
Like a thumbs up, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's like a. You're watching some like the lower tier movies where they like either make their own like fake names for large tech giants, or they just like plaster over all the logos. So that's kind of what it reminds me of. But yeah, cool. Yeah, so we're gonna get into our single pane of glass. Our consolidated view of all the foundations with Hub. So I guess what's next? I'm really liking the theme so far with this AI generated artwork.
All right, so this is a little bit of like an analysis or where we started, right, and what we're trying to accomplish. So I think typically most people think of observability as a couple of things, but it's the monitoring of, right, that sends signals. And we didn't want to just stop at observability. We wanted to really help with operations. So I can kind of animate out here. So observability, really get the signals. And then operations comes in to be like, I have an incident or a task and I need to respond to it, right? And part of that, the end of it is your postmortem. Something big happened. How do we stop this from happening again? Or if it happens again, how can we improve the response time, right? So kind of 3 phases, send signals, what is your incident response, and then some postmortem. So to generate these signals, this is we spent a lot of time in the first, I guess, 6 months to a year of building Hub is getting the data in, right? So melt, metric, events, logs, and traces, the storage, providing some analytics capabilities. And because we have the visibility from the app to the platform and even into some of the infrastructure, we can build these dependencies and know this app is running in on this foundation and is running on these hosts or VMs and so on and so forth, right? And then again, we also know SBOMs, we can do CVEs, we can pull in Git repos. And using all of this, we can now generate some pretty good signals, right? Now the user, you can use any of these things and generate some sort of an alert. Those can be either in the UI or they can be notifications via webhook or email today, right?
Cool. Very cool.
Then diving a little bit more. So once you get into the response, we kind of have, I'll just animate this out. There's kind of 4 phases that we like to look at. So one is you have a signal. Let's provide some context around that signal. How long has it been happening? Why is it happening? Why did you signal me? Is there anything related? Kind of looking at like around what's happening around that signal that we sent. And then we wanted to get into prescriptive process, right? So we mentioned earlier, like, if you have an incident, you need to do certain things. And a lot of times this is pretty standard, right? We have knowledge base articles that document, hey, if this happens, check, do step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So how can we codify that and not have the user have to go to their memory? Also, not have to go to Broadcom support portal, and then not hunt around your UI to find that information, right? Which, as you know, like as UIs get built, there's walls of data, I like to call it, right? So you have a page here, a tab there, and then I got to go here and I got to jump all around. How can we make that experience very, very simplified, right? And then past that, you might want to get into some more raw data analysis. Maybe the prescriptive process we gave you didn't cover it. So what else can I do? So it really comes into the dashboards and some analytics that will bring in and help you do on the fly, like anomaly detection or percentile calculations. And then it's red right now because we have some work to do, but really then you're going to want to take action, right? I have Diego cells, they're running out of capacity. Well, I need to either add more Diego or make them bigger or something along that lines, right? And I think the last animation here would be, once you've gone through all of this and you have a postmortem, how can we update that prescriptive process so the next time this notification triggers off, that process is kind of automatically codified for everybody else, right? So trying to build this feedback loop where the more you use Hub, the better the experience gets. The more, I think I have it here, right? The service desk and the junior operator now starts acting more like a power user, right? So we can start level setting and making people more effective and efficient in what they do.
So as each time these incidents come through, Hub is basically building a troubleshooting run book for
Correct.
people to go based on what happened last time. Very cool.
So there's a manual process. So we'll go through that in the demo, but at least the framework is there that you can go now and edit the run book and say, hey, we were missing this metric or this set of logs. Why don't we add that into the run book? Now, anytime that a alert triggers for any foundation, that run book will have that new step in it, right? So now we're pulling that information forward, bringing it to everybody, and that loop gets better and better as we go along.
I think that'd be like in just a past life, there'd always be random incidents that would happen. And maybe they might not be platform related incidents, but maybe it's like, I don't know, some back-end components within your app stack, but the platform's going to see that. So this could be useful, interesting too. If it's watching for, like, if you can say, I want to watch a certain set of string in the logs. And if that starts, popping up, alert for that foundation of, like, maybe there's a bunch of circuit breakers getting tripped because, like a back-end database is dead or dying. And that, that's causing a lot of storms, let's say, across the board. So
absolutely.
Lots of opportunities here to kind of expand upon this. I'm excited.
Well, and that brings up a good point. I mean, is this seeing just the foundation logs, or is this going into app logs as well?
It can also look at app logs. Absolutely. Ooh. Yeah. So we brought them all in. Yeah. App platform.
So you're giving, hold on now, that's a big step. You're saying that developers can actually start looking at playbooks about when their application breaks and how to fix it?
So we'll pause on that. That's coming a little bit more around the app layer.
Okay,
What's
fair
built in the
enough.
product today is really more for a platform engineer and at the platform level. That said, we do. I'll show you later. If you go to any one of the apps in Hub, there is a logs tab, and you can see all the logs there and start doing your queries and filtering and so on and so forth, and do your troubleshooting. Kind
Okay.
of back to the raw data analysis, right? So a lot
So
of
this
things we have
sounds like,
contextual. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, like for the foundation level stuff, platform engineer, that's why you see these two areas green,
Mhm.
because we do have a lot of contextual data and the prescriptive process, and there is some raw data analysis. But as we get to the more app and services layers in the coming releases, you'll see this framework kind of applied over. It doesn't matter if it's a service, Gen AI, or an app or whatever. We can take this framework and apply it anywhere.
Okay. So would you say this is, it sounds kind of like you took Health Watch, you injected it full
Mhm.
of steroids and sent it to the gym. That's what it sounds like you did here. Is that
Yeah.
about right?
Yeah, in a lot of senses, that's the way I would look at it too, right? So Health Watch is really a dashboard of things, right? Lots of data. So we
Mhm.
wanted to wrap that with context and prescriptive process, and then some additional analytics. And again, we can extend that to app metrics
Yep.
in the coming releases and so on and so forth. Yeah.
Health watch and steroids. I like it, Nikki.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
And I'm excited to see the apps portion there, right? Because we've had Apps Man that brought a lot of metrics. It brought logs for the apps in. And
Mhm.
it was useful. I mean, a lot of people used to call that the poor man's APM. I think it was better than the poor man's APM. It was something that was ingrained into the foundation. But I am interested to see that from a developer standpoint, because that was a lot of that's what a lot of platform engineers are getting. You know, they're looking at the platform, they're managing the platform, but I would say that most of the trouble calls that they're getting on the foundation are not coming from the foundation itself. It's coming from the application. And so a lot of PEs spend a lot of time helping developers, you know, troubleshoot their application, what's going on in the platform with that. So I know you said we'll get to that later. I'll hold
Yeah,
my comments till then, but I'm excited about that as well.
yeah, me too. And again, a little bit of grace. Some of this framework isn't applied at the app layer so much, but stay tuned. We're releasing new stuff all the time, right? So it'll
Yeah.
get better and better. All right, so let's jump into kind of a getting started here, just to kind of give some people some updates. I think originally Hub had a somewhat complicated way of installing it. In our last release, 10.2, now it's installed through an OpsBand tile, so it's relatively simple. It's still some gotchas as we're obviously improving the process, but for the most part, it's a much more simplified way of doing things. So you have an OpsBand set, and you can install Hub, and off to the races you go.
That's awesome because, yeah, I'm going to
Yes.
be a little critical here and
Hmm.
say, as much
Please
as I
be.
loved Hub, the install process when it first came out was it left a little bit to be desired, right? So I love the
Agreed.
fact that we are seeing iteration on this, that you've made that easier. You know, nothing's simpler than installing a tile. I think that's the best way to go. So kudos.
Yeah. And I can confirm it
Yes.
is very easy. So
And Nick and I have been
we're good
playing
there.
back and forth this last week,
Yeah.
breaking
Yeah.
things, and it's much better,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. And yes, for sure. And then too, I guess before we met yesterday and Ray was like, "Hey, you don't have any alerts." So I was like, "Well, everything's working." I'm like, "Well, I guess I got to break stuff now to try to trigger alerts." So so yeah, fun time. So hopefully that's all still broken, right? But yeah,
Yes.
we'll
Yeah.
get into that
We'll
soon.
see.
Yeah.
We were watching Nick, you know, kind of stumble around in pre-show trying to break stuff, you know, everything's running so well. How do I break it? And it's weird when you want to break things on purpose. It's hard to do.
Yeah.
Oh,
Exactly.
yes.
You should just do a live demo, and that's when things will break.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
Fingers crossed, right?
Yeah.
All right, so step
Cool.
two really is just onboarding your foundations. So during the onboarding process, you can add labels, you can add to foundation groups. I won't talk too much about foundation groups. It's still relatively new, but expect this to expand in the future. This general concept is either your foundations are grouped by region or by purpose, either dev, stage, prod, maybe a bit of both, right? It might be US West, here's my dev group of foundations, right? And then the idea of the foundation group is to now say, hey, these are all supposed to be similar, right? If they're for the same function in the same area, let's look at them as a group and then analyze them as a group and help give you some hints on, this build pack is different, or this stem cell is different, or something's different, to help you maintain that consistency, so your promotion between dev, staging, and prod don't cause you a lot of grief, which I think is a problem that some of our developers realize. Hey, I tried to put this in production and geez, my Java version dropped to 3 different versions behind because we haven't done this and that and so on and so forth. So won't talk too much about that, but just keep that in mind, that
Another
foundation
great
groups
feature
will
here.
grow.
This has been one of the gaps that we've seen in Cloud Foundry for a long time, and that's the multi-foundation view. Again, having to switch between screens, being able to, what's going on in one foundation, how might that affect my traffic in another? Being able to see that in one screen is awesome. Absolutely awesome. But I do want to ask you a question for people that may not know. So you've got the add the CF Hub collector there. The install on this, are you installing Hub on one foundation and collectors on the others? Are you installing Hub on all foundations? How does that install look like?
Yeah, so today the recommendation is to have a foundation for your hub. So put your tools in one foundation, and then you add your other foundations that actually are the workload foundations. And that's where the Hub collector will go, and it speaks to the Hub central, for lack of a better word.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we're seeing this where for the automation side, we recommend the same thing. Have that on another foundation. Can you combine these two? Can we have our automation on and our CF Hub on one? Okay,
Yes.
is that a best practice?
That is what we're pitching. Yeah.
Excellent.
Put all your
Yes,
tooling in one.
Yeah, so you can tack it on top of your platform automation foundation, install, and go from there, or you can put it anywhere, wherever. But it is a centralized pane of glass, so maybe it makes more sense to have it on its own versus injecting it into an existing foundation. So, either one works though. I have done all of the options so far. So
well, I think that
whatever you want.
makes a good use case. I mean, if you're going to have your platform automation running on its own foundation, being able to reuse that for Hub as well, just with a little bit of growth rather than spinning up another small foundation to do it. Right. That's letting people reuse their hardware. It's given place where Hub is already in a place where a lot of the PEs are already looking. So good call.
Awesome. One thing I should call this out, maybe I should have put it in bolder text and even bigger, is this point down here. So we're kind of separating the control plane from the platform itself, right? So you can actually run Hub, the latest version 10.2, and onboard foundations back to version 6, right? So we're separating that. So just think of it, you can get more capabilities by upgrading your Hub and not having to go through the process of upgrading your foundation, right? So should be smiles, hopefully, across the board, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so that's a good call out too, because we get that a lot too with the Gen AI tile as well, where people think you have to go to 10.2 TAS to get all these new features, and you definitely don't. So yeah, you can have TPCF 6.0 and have the latest Hub and Gen AI tile all installed. So that's a good call out. So especially as if we talk about the end of general support, I think imminent with the TAS 4.0. So if you're not on TAS 6.0, you really should be. We're going back to our show that we did with Darren a few weeks ago. So please upgrade if you haven't already, and at least get to 6. So anyway, a quick aside about upgrading to the latest supported version. But yeah,
absolutely. All right, and then 3. Really, if you have VCF, you can onboard or connect to your VROps or vCenter, and that'll help build those dependencies. We'll pull in alerts and events from the infrastructure. So 3-step process, right? Install with an OpsMan tile, onboard your foundations, and then connect your VCF, and you should be off to the races.
Another great feature here. So this is actually taken. So HealthWatch historically really was just within the foundation. This is actually taking it down to the metal level. and you're going to be able to see those dependencies all the way down to the host CPU, host memory. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's going to tie all that together.
It will tie it all together. Just to draw a line there, we're bringing in alerts and events. You won't be able to like see all your metric charts and your whole like VCF ops or VR ops experience. We do, however, though, if there's an alert from VR ops, there's a launching context. So you see the alert in Hub, click on it, and it'll bring you over to your VR ops or VCF ops console, and you can continue your troubleshooting there.
Well, I think that's a good call, because generally you're not seeing a lot of the platform and the foundation guys. They run the foundation, but they've got a separate team that's doing all the VMware stuff for them. Their involvement's usually very minimum, but this is a good way to say, hey, we're seeing a problem. And by the way, VM admin, this is what we're seeing from it. So maybe that's something you can fix. I think that works well.
Yeah. Like, why are we having a problem? Oh, maybe because this host is down, or these hosts are down.
Yeah. You went to maintenance mode without letting anybody know. Yeah.
Full disclosure, I did not take down any of my hosts for this presentation. I only
Not
did
yet.
No. Well, not yet. No. No.
Yeah.
I still have a production service to run here. I can't be risking it that much, but yeah.
Exactly. And that kind of goes back to that handover that we talked about, like even in the network world and whatever, when you need to hand over information, it's always good to give some direction or know, instead of just throwing it over the fence. We joked earlier about me being a network guy and it's always the app. And then the app guys, it's always a platform, right? It's nice to say, hey, I'm the app guy and I'm seeing something happening on the platform. And it doesn't have to be all the detail. It's just, listen, hey, the Diego cells are saying they're out of memory. Okay, well, that's a good handoff to someone else. Even from the infrastructure side, hey, I'm seeing there's like tons of network drops on the infrastructure. That's probably impacting my platform and my app. So now you have intelligence when you're having that communication, instead of just, hey, it looks like it's an infrastructure issue. And then it sits in a queue for 45 minutes to an hour. They look at it. No, it's not us. It's the platform. And then you end up chasing everyone's tail. And 4 hours later, your MTTR budget's blown and you haven't accomplished anything, right? So that's kind of our goal here, is to at least give some information to hand off intelligently.
Yeah, we talk a lot about feedback loops with the application developers in the platform. How do you improve that feedback loop? So you're actually taking this and you're expanding the feedback loop to include the infrastructure as well, the platform and the developer. That does nothing but make things better, because exactly like you said, you're not getting into these endless, not my problem type of issues. Y'all can sit down, look at one pane of glass and kind of go through things. Doesn't mean you're getting everything from Hub, but if you get a pointer, at least you're giving your VM admin something to go in and look at, or your app developers giving your platform engineer something to go in and look at. Well, this is what I'm seeing. Does it make sense or not? Bringing everybody on that same page, that's huge. That's organizational change because of a platform.
Absolutely. Efficiency, right? That's really what we need to drive.
Oh, Keith.
Or was it DNS?
It was always DNS, Keith. Always.
Thanks, Keith.
Yeah. I mean, I'll tell you that it is. So network problems can be the hardest things to troubleshoot for sure. Yeah. Especially when you have a duplicate IP. But anyway.
Oh, I was just fixing to say that.
Yeah, that's like, why is this not working? Oh, I made a duplicate IP. Anyway, that's why my load balancer isn't working.
Ray, good question. Is Hub going to help us find duplicate IPs?
That's a good question. Let me take a note and make sure that we do. It seems to be the hot topic.
Look at Nick; right? He's already dreaming, right? Oh, that could find that duplicate.
No, I think there is a Bosch health check to check the IP range now. I'm trying to think if there is something already in Bosch that does that. I saw that recently, where like it scans the IP range for. I think there is a duplicate IP, or there's some kind of network check in Bosch now. I'll have to look at it later, but like maybe one day, Nikki, we'll see.
One day.
If not, it will be. I am frantically writing notes here. DNS, always DNS.
Entered.
Yeah. Or latency. Cool. It's one of the two, right? It's latency to something and it's latency to DNS usually. Anyways. So one more slide and then we can jump into some demo, because it's obviously where the power comes through. But basically really big on getting this time to value, right? So the second you onboard your foundations, you go through the 3 steps on the previous slide, you get this centralized observability. You have your multi-foundation homepage, we'll show you that. You have a centralized alert management with a bunch of out-of-the-box alerts already configured for you. You can also customize and create your own. So we think that's a nice experience instead of copying your JSON from multiple HealthWatch tiles, or you know what I mean? You can centralize that, do it in one spot. And then these custom live runbooks. So I'll show you that, but that's that prescriptive process. This alert triggered, this is what you need to do, collects the data for you. And now you just read and follow the prompts and kind of go from there.
So I'm going to
That's all
add in
just-
another potential feature request here. There was an old
Please.
product. This is going back. I think there's still customers that are using it, but PCF alerts where I could tie in webhooks to send stuff to my Slack or, my Teams. Are we going to have that capability with Hub?
Ooh.
We absolutely do. So we have email and webhook today.
Ah, good night, Jar, making me happy. All right.
But just
And
wait, Nikki.
I wish
And
I
there's
could
more?
say some of the stuff we're working on, but unfortunately we can't just yet. But expect more types of integrations in the future, if I can leave it at that.
That sounds good. Webhooks makes me happy. So anything on top of that's just gravy, Ray.
Perfect. All right, and then 2, so these dependency maps we talked about, right? These just automatically get built for you. We scan the foundation, we know the apps, we know SBOMs, we know which VMs this foundation is running on, so we can tie it to your VCF infrastructure, and that just happens automatically. And then the last one is capacity planning. This is new in 10.2. So focusing on 2 ends of the spectrum, either overutilized foundations or underutilized foundations, and kind of building a workflow from there, either from memory or disk capacity perspective, right? And I lost my mouse here, but the interesting thing we do here, we actually import from HealthWatch into Hub 6 weeks worth of capacity related data. So the second you install Hub, you don't have to wait for 6 weeks before you get the data and we can provide some value. We've copied the history in, and now it's basically instantly give or take a couple of hours or less to copy the data in. Now you have all the data, and we can help you with your capacity stuff.
I like the dependency maps because Nick, you're with me. Any PE out there, we know the pain that used to be of having to go back and trace where an actual instance lives when things start going wrong. So this dependency map and being able to see that visually, I mean, that literally can take 30 minutes to an hour and a half of time, and just boom, it's done. That's a great feature as well.
Very cool. Oh, in the morning. Are we time? Is it demo time now?
We're getting into demo time. Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
I don't know how much time we have, so I want to help keep things moving.
We got 20 minutes left.
Yeah, 20 minutes.
20 minutes left.
Yeah. If we have to go a little over, we can too. So let's
okay.
Yeah.
So I'll talk about these really, really quickly. So we have a morning cup of coffee. We kind of look at this. Hey, log into Hub, see what's going on. This is my homepage. How do I start my day? Right. And then there's a notification workflow we kind of touched on a little bit before. Is either you're going to get an email or a webhook notification, and it brings you through a much more tight experience. So you'll go from a notification to an alert details to a runbook. And so you don't have to worry about hopping around the UX and so on and so forth. And then there's like the app ops to PE handoff. Hey, somebody walks by your desk and says, Nick, my app ABC is having problems. Can you help me? So there's no ticket, there's no digital transfer of information. What do you do? Right. So that's kind of where we focus on these 3 things, and we'll continue to enhance these workflows to make them better experiences.
Very cool. All right. Do you want me to drive? Do you want to, and you yell at me how I drive, or you want to drive, or I'm okay either way, whatever you want to do.
Yeah. Let me drive for a couple of minutes, and then we'll shift over to you.
Okay, cool.
Window, I think it's this one, and we kind of have to do that because I got logged out of your environment. Oh, did that just start sharing?
Yeah, we see. We'll bring it on stage here.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, we see some hub.
Ooh,
You should
pretty.
see some hub. Yes.
Okay.
Move this window over a little bit, and
Yeah.
hopefully that's good from a sizing and space side. So yeah, this is our new homepage. If anyone who's seen it before, there's lots of information that we pulled out. We wanted to make this really an actionable thing. Hey, I came in. It's 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, whatever you get into the office. You grab your coffee, you load up Hub, you start drinking, and you say, hey, what do I need to work on? Right? What's important to me? So today we have two different sections. One are really from a foundation perspective, and the other is from an apps perspective. Alerts, obviously, that's probably the first thing you're going to want to look at. And then we have capacity, is the overutilized and underutilized, and we look at it from a memory or a disk perspective. And then we have some app health, right? Is it running, stopped, so on and so forth. And then also a little bit of capacity related kind of information, more around like underutilized applications. They're asking for a lot of memory or disk, but they're not using that much. So you might want to start dialing into this and optimizing. Hey, DevOps or app ops, do you really need 4,000 terabytes of memory for this app? You're only using 4 megs or whatever it is, right? So we can help give that information and start those conversations.
Do you remember that old plugin that was out there for a while, Nick, called Memory Shame? Do you remember that? Memory Shame plugin?
Memory Shame. No. Yep. Was that a CFCLI plugin?
It was a plugin, and it was absolutely awesome. I made some updates to it. I'm trying to remember who originally put it out there, but it was such a great plugin, and it did exactly what you're showing here. The underutilized apps. It would show. It was a way for platform engineers to go in and say, "Hey, Mr. App Developer, you asked for 8 gigs of memory, but you're only using like 512. Can you give some of that back to the platform?" This is going to make that so much easier. Not only, proactively. I don't know. And Ray, you can tell me, is this something that developers can see, or is this something only that engineers can see?
Yeah, so this is all like our back control.
Okay.
So absolutely, you can have different views for your app ops, your app dev, your platform
Excellent.
engineers.
Yeah, so they'd be able to come in, and then it becomes self-service. Hey, I'm being a resource hog here, and I don't need to be, because if they're not using the memory, then they're claiming CPU. It's not as bad on CPU, but that memory sticks around. So that's something a lot of platform engineers, fight with.
That's the ideal world. I'm curious what the audience says about would an app owner go in and start tweaking down the number their memory ask, right?
And we just got our first boot. We just got our first boot. Did you hear that?
There you go. There you go.
We can dream in Nikki's world where people will proactively shut down some overusage, but I think in reality people need a little nudge, so to speak. But this will give them the tooling to make it happen, right?
I used to, the downside of the memory shame was it was basically ASCII tables, right? That came out, and then we'd have to do this. But I would absolutely dog shame my application developers about you're kind of being a hog here. Quit being a hog. Quit being selfish. Quit being gutless. Give some stuff back.
Well, I mean, especially if it goes to the point of like we really can't expand these Diego cells anymore because the metal underneath it is full, right?
Yep.
And maybe we can start freeing up a bunch of, hey, we have that app that you have 100 instances of, but you're only using 10% of your memory allocation. Maybe kind of pull that back a little bit, right?
That's actually a good lead in to this. So we'll look at the capacity side here. So I have one alert here. It's saying disk is underutilized, which is the opposite side, right? Like, so you've asked for a lot and you're not using very much. So you just click on the link and we come to this is an all foundations view, and you can filter it by a bunch of different things if you want to look at individual foundations or based on the infrastructure it's running on. And there's some capacity level things. So if I want to look at underutilized memory, underutilized disk, or the opposite, overutilized, underutilized. This again,
right.
It's automatically filtered for you. I clicked on that one, so it's automatically filtered to say, hey, we have a foundation that is underutilized, right? So I just when this happens.
Well, and by the way, quick admin stuff for those that are listening to this as audio only. We are doing a live demo, so when we get this up, we'll go back and we'll put a chapter in so that if you've been listening to this on audio, you want to see the demo, you can just go straight to the chapter and start looking at the demo.
That's a good
Awesome.
tip there. I'll have to remember that. But yeah, yes, very good tip.
Thank you.
Cool.
It's the only
Good
kind
for
of tip
covering
I
that.
do, Bill.
So it kind of jumped when I did this, so I'll just show you the click I did, right? So we've identified this one foundation. I click on it, and there's a new tab in the single foundation view that is all about your capacity, right? So I give some summary of what's going on, number of orgs, and so on and so forth, and then some capacity readouts. And you can see your top orgs by memory utilization, highest app allocation, underutilized apps, and little toggles here for memory and disk, right? So
Now,
we're
can you
here for,
filter some of these orgs out? Like some of the system orgs, some of the data data orgs that come out, can you filter those out? Or does it just show everything and
yeah, so on this page, no, it's
okay.
we're showing you all the orgs, but it's really, we're looking at the top. I want to say it's like 5 or 7 that will show. So you won't see this won't be an endless scroll if you have 100 orgs, for example,
Okay.
but you do get some kind of analysis here, right? And so if I can step back a little bit to that diagram I showed earlier and just kind of explain the process of what we're doing. So we talked about having all this data and bringing it in, right? And this is more that raw data analysis. I think it was the third in the process of resolving an incident, right? I've provided context, prescriptive, and now I'm just looking at the raw data, and we're trying to help in this as well, right? So like it's X out of Y for your utilization. We also,
That was my bad. I hit the space bar accidentally. Sorry about that, Ray.
it's all good. And then we've done some, we'll call it coarse grain analysis, right? These are your top orgs by memory, by app allocation, and so on and so forth. And then say I knew it was system, so I can dive into system. And this is an app view that I can look at and see all of the apps that are in that org. And again, lots of data. We give some indication here. But let's jump into a specific. Oh, that's not the one I wanted to go to be honest. Demo environments are great, right? So if I look at this specific app, now I can get even like more details. Like I've drilled down and we've said, hey, it's only using, it's underutilized from a disk. You've asked for a lot, but it's only using X amount. So that could be just a point in time, right? We need to look back at history. And if this line shot up, then I don't want to change the behavior of this app. But here I can see for 3 months, of course, this has only been up for a little while, but it's never used more. So now you have more ammunition to go to the app team and say, listen, you've never used more than this. Can we claw that back and free it up for the foundation and other users? And then hopefully with that information, you can come to an agreement with the app team.
Love it.
It's same for all these other graphs and charts. So that's that.
And you can use that for the reverse as well, right? If you're seeing your CPU constantly going over, but it's not using, you can go back and tell them, hey, maybe you need to bump your memory up to get a little bit more CPU shares for yourself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So let me jump to the performance tab here. We're going to kind of go out of order. Shoot. Oh, this is in your environment, Nick. Well, we might have to flip over to it to show to show this part.
Yeah, I got some fun things to show there. So let's go over there. Give us a minute while we transition.
While you're doing that, maybe I'll talk about topology real quick.
I was just fixing to ask you to show the topology view.
Yeah. So there's a bunch of different topology iterations in the product, and we look at them from, we call it hard anchoring. So if you're on an app page, we're going to hard anchor on the application itself, and then everything below it will be, this app is running in this space.
Sorry, I overtook your screen. I can go to the topology. Sorry, yeah, I didn't think it would do that. Let's have it load here.
Yeah.
Nick's got a big monitor.
Yeah, my monitor's like super ultra wide screen here. Were you in a foundation view? Sorry, I totally just
that was an app view actually this time.
Oh, okay. Apps.
And I think I wrote a note Is it the auto scale? Let me see if I can pull up my notes here because I wrote it down. Auto scale app is a nice one to show because and we have all that history. If you look at the topology, fingers crossed. It's not on the. We don't show down to the VCF, but whatever. It's we have a bit of everything
so I
here,
added
right?
I added another foundation this morning. It's not reporting that, but I can go back to, I picked the wrong auto scale because that's the auto scaler app within the system space. So
Gotcha.
if you are you just looking for a topology view? Because I have a business app to find.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, there's a bunch of different ways to get at this. Right, so there's three
Is
different.
this working for you? Here?
Yeah,
Yes.
that'll work. That'll work for me too. Let me just go full screen on this so I can see it a little bit better as well. So yeah, so as I was saying, there's three different variations of the topology. One is for a business app, and the idea around a business app is you group all of your apps and services that perform a business function. Right, so you might have a payment thing, you might have a web front end, you might have other services, you're using a Gen AI tile, and so on and so forth. You define this business app, and this topology can show you. I can't see my mouse anymore, but the you start out up top is your Acme Fitness, and then to the left, there's your apps and services that are part of that business app. And you can go down the list, right? These apps and businesses are running in these spaces, on these foundations, on this vCenter, right? So you get basically the full stack view. We also have another view that's from the app perspective, right? So
Now,
you're
is
just
that
looking
click
at.
through, Ray? So like if you see,
Yes.
with the services, if we're connected to a Postgres, is that a click through?
Yeah, absolutely. So you see, I think Nick clicked on the app window, and then on the right side, you see that there's 7 apps. If you click any one of those, it'll bring you, we call it a soft anchor now. So we haven't changed the screen. We're just giving you information about that entity that you clicked on, right?
Nice.
And again, remember my comments earlier from the app and the service layer, it's not as strong as of an experience yet, but this will keep bringing in the alerts and all those wonderful things over time, right?
Mm-hmm.
A good one, Nick, to click might be the foundation. Right? So you see there's a red dot there, right? So we know that there's something going on at this foundation, and it just so happens that it's a Diego cell memory capacity issue.
Yeah. So should I click on it?
Yeah, why not?
I wonder why.
Oh.
Why it's like that.
Yeah.
Will this link? Oh, okay. Oh, here we.
It does.
Yeah. So it looks like we had a mass scaling event last night for some reason. We were doing fine, and now we're really low on Diego memory capacity. Huh?
Weird. What happened?
I don't know.
So this is kind of, if I can go trying to reference visually back to that that chart that I had that had the different steps of operations versus observability. So this is our attempt at contextualizing the problem, right? So if you came in from an email or a webhook notification, you'll land here. You don't have to worry about those other screens and finding this place. We'll bring you right into this alert details page. So yeah, you can see the trend. Nick called it out, right? Something happened last night, and there we crossed the threshold, and therefore this is why we triggered the alert. The threshold there, it's the best practice to have 30% of your capacity available, right? So that should be known to everybody, and we crossed that threshold. So you go down to the second row, we can see that this is originating from a foundation, even though we started at an app, right? We know that up a little bit higher, Nick.
Oh, my apologies.
Yes, the originating resources, yeah. So we know that we might have started from an app, but we know the originating resource is the foundation. The widget to the right of it shows the business applications that might be impacted. So you can imagine you get an alert on a foundation, and you come and you see the screen, and it'll tell you, hey, business app Acme Fitness is potentially impacted. I might want to notify the business owner for that business application and say, hey, we're seeing something, might be impacting, might not be. I'll let you know, keep you posted, so you can be a little bit more proactive up and down your stack, right? And then
That's
scrolling
awesome.
down. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Please comment.
No, I was going to say that's awesome. I can absolutely see where this is going to lower troubleshooting times, mean time to resolution, being able just to click through. And I'm guessing that, depending on how you're looking at this, so maybe if the application owner's looking at this from the topology view and they're seeing the problem with their application, they've got a pointer to the platform team to say, hey, we've got a red dot here. And vice versa, the platform team can be, like you said, proactive. And when they're doing their views, see the red dot and say, oh, hey, here's the 3 applications. Guys, keep an eye out while we're looking at this, but you may be impacted.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So then the second section is the alert and more around alert details. So we give you the policy. Why is this triggering? You can see the full expression that's being used. And then to the right of it is kind of trends, right? Has this been happening every day, or did Nick go and do something crazy last night while he was sipping sodas and broke something?
Yeah.
Sipping sodas.
We'll go with sipping sodas.
Yeah. Right. So you can imagine if you see this like every Wednesday, this thing happens, that might give you a clue.
Yeah.
Right. That every Wednesday, somebody's doing something, and maybe it's a cron job, somebody's doing something, who knows? But again, providing context around the problem. And I like the next section too, and this is why I wanted to jump to your scenario, is we have related alerts. I don't know if you want to zoom in a little bit so everyone can see kind of the text that's going on here, but I'm going to guess that last night, Nick did something about the number of instances of something, right? And we kind of show that, right? Last night, the number of instances blew up, which led to this memory issue, right? So they're basically related. So we can help give you some hints one to the other, right? So you might just know, hey, I got to contact Nick. It's always Nick. Maybe we should change it's always the app, always the platform to it's always Nick.
They've got auto scaling on their app based on queue depth. Maybe their queue depth went too big and we saw the instances jump up, and next thing you know, we're out of memory.
Yeah, or maybe you started giving away something for free on your website and all your everything auto scaled because people like free stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So again, good context, right? It's a little bit when we talk about HealthWatch, and I call them the OG tool sets. There's things that we can do in the hub world that could never really be done. Topology is a good one, right? There is no topology anywhere in the OG tool set. We can bring that here. Some of these relational things, that something happening at an app layer that's impacting a foundation layer or vice versa, we can actually do that correlation and show you this. And I see Nick's trying to move me along because I talk too much.
No. Can I want to? Can I click this? I want to see
you absolutely
live
can.
Redbook. All right.
Yeah, please do.
All right. What's it say? What should I do? I wonder. All right. So let's see here. Oh yeah, our placement value is low. Yeah. Scale out Diego cells. Yeah, that's solid recommendation.
Yeah.
All right, and it's okay, and look at that. Maybe this is another. So obviously, as a past platform automation or platform operator, yes, Diego cells we need to scale up, right? But why? who can we shame? And we can see that the Gen AI samples org is now using 92.7% of its org quota. And it's not, if I expand that time frame, it was using a lot less than 92% yesterday. So we would, Nikki and I would go talk to that team maybe first if we can expand the Diego cells and be like, hey guys, what's going on?
Well, we had 20 instances, right? So we figured that 200 had to be better.
Yeah, maybe we can scale that back a little bit or optimize, that type of thing. So very cool.
Absolutely. And you didn't have to do anything but click the run book, and it helped prescribe this for you.
And furthermore, you even have you can just send them a screenshot, be like, hey, no one else is using anywhere close to what you're using. Are you sure? Everyone else, you're the outlier here, right? Yeah. So yeah, this is very
absolutely.
Very nice,
and actually on that point, I wish I could. You see there's an icon on the orgs. Yeah, that one, the layers. Yep, that one. Click on it, please.
The one, okay.
So what
Oh,
this is that
okay.
on-demand analytics. So if you wanted to come to them with like a percentile and sound really super smart, you can just click on the P95 or P99, for example, and you could say, "Hey, Bill, you're way above our P95 or 95th percentile for usage of allocation." Right. So on-demand kind of analytics is there for you.
Nice. Very cool.
And
If you
we've got a question that came up from me here.
Oh.
So black box exporter supported to monitor the endpoints. I'm not exactly sure when this question come in. So, you know, if you want to define that question a little bit more, please let us know, but that did come up.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm not sure what's being referenced there, but what I will say is that at least from version 6 dot, forget the minor on it, but we do support OTel for virtually everything. Stay tuned on the everything that's going to be coming very, very soon. But you can use there's a Prometheus, a Splunk, and an OTLP exporter built into our OTel configuration. So any endpoint that can receive OTLP or Prometheus or Splunk, we can fire off any metrics out to that third-party tool.
Ooh, I see where you're going there. I like it.
Yep.
Right. Yeah. Very
More
cool.
coming.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing, you know, this is part of the more coming, but from the app side, the custom metrics that they could support
Mhm.
and the OG tools
Mm-hmm.
might be part of
Yes.
that.
Yeah. Wink, wink. Stay tuned.
And
Yeah,
this is
so
how we got Ray fired.
We should have started this with our normal disclaimer of anything could change. Anyway,
Absolutely.
we'll take a
Absolutely.
question or we'll take a comment from our friend DMC, the Hub API too, probably in relation to existing things. So I guess you
Yeah, there is ways
query
to
the
hit
API.
the GraphQL via API and extract a lot of this information that's there today and expected to get better over time. Maybe I can show
Very
one more
cool.
thing on the widget side. If you slide up to the Diego one,
Mm-hmm.
so and click the same icon.
Yes.
Oh, this is interesting. It's not implemented here. All right. Thank you for doing some QA for us, Nick.
Okay, moving on.
Moving on.
There's nothing to see here.
Nothing to see here. Can you edit that out in the final copy?
We're live.
We're live. Dang.
Everything's great. This is good.
We'll just consider that one more of those nod, wink, wink things.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah.
You can't show them everything all at once, Ray. It's going to be overload. You got to save some of the suspense for later.
Absolutely. So let's maybe, I think, hopefully everyone gets the. Oh, actually, we'll stay here.
Oops, we're gone. All right, back. Where are you going to go?
Distracted. Let's go back to the alert there. Yep.
Okay.
Click it, please. Yeah.
Okay.
And then under live runbook.
All right, I'm back.
All right. So remember again, referencing back to the chart that I had that had all the phases of troubleshooting. We had the postmortem, right?
Mm-hmm.
Part of what happens if not everything we wanted was here in this runbook. I want to add something. So you can click that little edit pencil button, not the alert, down a little. Yes, that one.
Edit layout one.
You got it. Yep.
Okay. Oh, now I'm
right.
Okay. All right. Well, now I'm going to mess this up. What do I do now?
Now click the add widget in that same row. Perfect. Yes. So here, we have a couple of built-in types of things that you can do. You can add a section compound, which is basically that scale out Diego cells and some text, right? This is your step 1, step 2, whatever you want to do, and then some description of what you want someone to do in that step. You can add an HTML widget. You can also add custom metrics and custom logs. So why don't we just click the add custom metrics?
Okay.
Click add, yeah.
Ooh.
All right. So here you can give it a title. You can give an access. If you want to play with it, by all means.
Sure. Nick, test 1. How about that?
That's perfect.
Because I have no idea what I'm doing. All right. So what do I do now?
All right, so then you go down to the metric section,
Okay.
and you
Okay.
click and say you want it to show CPU. So type
Uh,
CPU.
okay. Oh,
There
CPU.
you go.
Lots of
Yeah.
CPUs. How about
So you pick the one you want. Let's do that one. Yeah.
allocated CPU total?
Nope,
The top
down
one?
3. The CPU.
Okay.
Straight CPU. Yeah. Perfect.
Okay.
And then if you scroll down, click refresh, and this will
Oh.
just validate that the query is working, right? So it gives you a sample graph.
Oh, so is this the CPU coming back from all the Diego cells then, right? Or
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. For this one. Correct.
okay.
Um,
Cool.
Other thing to note, if you scroll up just a little bit more, if you don't want to do it that way, you can edit in PromptQL. And so
Oh.
there's a slider there. You click that, and then you can just write your PromptQL, whatever it is, as complicated as you want.
Oh, I see.
I,
Or I can go
I'm not a
back.
PromptQL expert, but maybe you are.
Yeah.
And
No.
I'm assuming maybe a
I
bunch
have
of
another
the
feature
people on the call
request.
are.
Yeah.
I
It's been a
know that
while.
most of this stuff is out there in documentation, but as we saw, there were a lot of different CPUs.
Yes.
Real quick cheat sheet to say what each one of those metrics means for people that need to jump into this.
Gotcha. Yep. Yeah, so it's pretty much as simple as that. There's more complicated ways, but you can copy your PromptQL from HealthWatch, for example. If you want to take, you know what it is over in HealthWatch, grab the PromptQL, paste it in here, and you should be good to go. And then you click OK at the end of this.
Well, I'm gonna jump in. So we got a question from Keith Lee on
Oh.
this one. Is there a feature where you can share a URL to exactly what you're viewing for, sharing with a colleague like you used to do in Wavefront?
Yes, most browsers have that capability. You go to the link, you copy the link and share it. I think the way you're sharing doesn't have that, but we don't have a share button in the
But that
product just
actual, if
today.
you go into the browser window, you copy that, that'll go the same way, but you don't have a share.
Oh, I
Correct.
see.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So you copy that, you can open another browser just to prove it to everyone on the call, and you paste it in, and it brings you exactly to this space. If you wanted to demo that, but not as elegant, but expect it to be there.
Okay.
Bam. That works.
There you
I
go.
didn't use another
Now-
browser, but another tab is sufficient,
Yep.
right?
So
Yeah,
here's my
absolutely.
question on that, right? As this, metrics are coming in. So this is to the run book, but if we wanted to show like a particular issue or a particular metric, is that browser URL going to be time constrained? If I take one of those URLs and I paste it to Nick and he doesn't get it to 2 days, is he going to see what I saw, or is he going to see what the current view is in that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That-
Yes.
All right.
So we're here to have fun, right? Yeah. No.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
In all fairness, so especially this part of the world in the alert detailed and run books,
Right.
they are. You can see it's in a status triggered. We know when it's created. That link will point to this
Okay.
to this alert details. So
Mhm.
yes, you will be brought to this point in time by sharing that link.
But if I show like a generalized metrics page, then that's probably where I'm going to see current versus what I was seeing when I
Correct.
sent them. Okay.
Correct.
Hopefully
yes.
that answers your question, Keith.
That's a good call
Yeah.
out. I didn't even think about that there.
Yep.
It's always like you gotta like, yeah, hey, you're hogging all the CPU or memory. Here's this link that you can click the link and you can go live, and
And
very
you can see
nice.
it yourself, right? It says that proof. I
Exactly.
always like to, here's the proof of what I'm telling you, not just, I think
Mhm.
it's the network or it's the platform or it's the app, right?
Very
Or
cool.
tell you what, Keith, just get with me later and I'll show you how to screenshot.
Oh,
That's-
shots fired! Shots fired!
That's another. So we didn't finish the rest of that last story, but you can like reorder these. You can come in and edit the text. And the power here is that once you click save, and we didn't click save based on the work we were doing in the last tab, Nick, but
Mhm.
now anytime that alert triggers, it doesn't matter which foundation it's on, that new widget that you put with that new guidance will be there, right? So you made a change on foundation 1 that had an alert that had a run book, and he said, it'd be great if we had this information. You edit it, you save it. Now Foundation 50 has that same alert. That prescriptive process with that run book is carried forward. So you only have to change it once, it's done.
Very cool.
That's awesome.
We're running out of time, eh?
Yep.
There's
I loved Hub
before.
before.
Yeah.
I absolutely loved Hub before, Ray. The improvements you guys have made are leaps and bounds beyond what I remember Hub being. Great implementation. I can't wait to see where this goes. I think this is just going to be a knockout feature for everybody.
Yeah,
I concur.
Sorry, and we're really just scratching the surface, right? Because we're really just talking about some of the observability functions, right? There are a lot of other things that we haven't hit on yet. And Nikki, again, sorry, I'm going off script here, but this services view, like I recently did an upgrade on this foundation, and I learned that I had, I don't know, like 29 Postgres service instances deployed, and it was to do it in a full upgrade, so I had to stem cell rotate and everything too. So if I look for, I think it's a Postgres on demand is the offering, and I I got a lot of Postgres out there, but I can see all what's going on in all these Postgres databases and kind of get a vibe.
So look at where that's going to be important.
Without Hub, there was very, very hard to get any kind of view on this, especially this is a multi-foundation view too, right? Even better, right? So
you're able to look for people when you do an upgrade. You're able to look for groups and tell them, hey, an upgrade's coming. But the other part of this is a lot of teams now, when we release the ability to, not necessarily upgrade, you don't have to do the, upgrade all instances. You're letting the teams upgrade in their change management windows. This gives you a very good view to say, okay, who's updated, who hasn't. I've left it out there for 3 months. We're fixing to do another Postgres update. And guess what? Team may be in, F, you guys haven't updated yet. You're going to want to do that before I do the next Postgres update.
Yeah. And then you can see the space and the bound apps to it as well. The actual service instance name. Great stuff. So yeah, so many great things coming in Hub. If you haven't checked it out, you really should. I think everyone here in Tanzu Land would be happy to help you get it set up and get it tested. Right. But yeah, without further ado, we are running a little long in time for this episode, but it's been a great content. I appreciate you for coming on, Ray. And I guess we can wrap up with, do you have anything that you want to kind of leave our viewers with, or any kind of closing thoughts or anything of that nature?
Yeah, I would say get your hands on Hub, talk to your account teams, work with them. We're a lot of hands-on, help support, white glove treatment to get Hub installed and help you through the initial phases of doing this. There's, like Nick mentioned, there's so much more we haven't even talked about. There's all the apps views, the information you get from Spring, capacity foundation groups. There's so much, and there'll be more coming in. Maybe I'll try and invite myself back on in, like, say, November timeframe, and we can talk about the new stuff. There's my third Canadian about. But we're happy to come on again, and we'll read through the chats and stuff like that, and see if there's anything we deliver that was asked for, and give you an update, because there's a lot more to come.
I love how you did that, Ray, for not only just saying, hey, I might come back, I have some stuff in November, but with all your wink, wink, nod, nod. Great way to secure your spot as another, as a second returning guest. That's awesome.
Yes.
I'd love to be.
Very good.
Super sneaky.
Yeah. Hey, whatever works, right?
That's
we're
right.
We're always looking to fill out the schedule here. So great.
Usually not until Wednesday, but
yeah. Hey, Nikki, I have multiple shows.
I see that.
We have weeks of CF Weekly scheduled for everyone. So I am doing a somewhat decent job at scheduling. Thank you all for those who you agreed to come on and feature show. So, and I will give a shout out.
65 episodes in, we're finally getting professional about this stuff.
Yeah. And then I think next week will be Nikki, I don't know if we haven't synced on this yet, but it's gonna be a little early on Wednesday next week. If we're gonna have a DMZ and V on the show, so it's gonna be a security update one. So so keep your eyes peeled for that. But without further ado, it is time to, don't forget to like and subscribe and give us a thumbs up. It's the pillow time towards the end of the show. If you made it that long, our shameless plug to check out our content on our YouTube channels, our social media accounts, and if you like the podcast, audio style, cloudfoundryweekly.com and all your podcast players of choice, basically.
Yep. Huge call out to everybody that's watching us on Twitter this time. This is one of the
Mhm.
first times I've seen where the CF Weekly Twitter account has gotten the most views. So thank you for the Twitter users, right? But don't forget to look us up on LinkedIn as well.
Exactly. Thanks for all the live streams right now. So we appreciate you.
Yep.
And I guess now our final pop quiz, Ray. Have you made it to the end of the episode? What do we do at the end of the episode?
Oh my gosh.
All right, there goes his November spot.
Yeah, well, it's okay. I don't think anyone's ever gotten this question. So I think our very first show, one of our viewers kind of coined the term CF by. So we just do a countdown like a 3, 2, 1, and then we do CF by, we wave, and we close the show. So that's how we close the show with an undocumented CF CLI command, I guess.
That's right.
I knew that. I was just checking to see if you knew that.
Oh, look at that! You turn the script on us.
That's right.
I like it.
Pop quiz for you, Nick.
I failed. Right? Yeah, exactly. All right. 3, 2, 1.
See ya. Bye.
Bye.